this time because we put that up on YouTube. All right, here we go. Resume. All right, it begins in 3, 2, 1.
I'm making you 2 primaries in this disaster. Since you've made no progress in the klepto murder, I figure you do.
Thanks for the confidence.
And no problem.
I used to be huge.
This is Film Sack. Oh, sure.
Hello, and welcome to Film Sack. Yes, this is Film Sack, mining the very depths of film entertainment for all mankind. This is episode 369. 369! That's like a 3 times as nice. Nice.
nice.
My name is Scott Johnson, and I'm here today with Brian. He gets pretty pissed when they F up his burger to Dunaway.
Get it right, get it tight. Oh, hi.
Hi.
This week on Film Sack, we find ourselves caught up in a Hollywood homicide when HBO Max comes running in and starts shooting up our big city karaoke parody rap bar, Ibbot, / beatnik poetry slam, Jordan, run by a simple country boy, Johnson, and leaves this 2003 action comedy puddle of piss, Dunaway, for us to explain to the authorities. No, officer, I did not pee my mama boy pants when the shooting started. I ain't no snitch. Now pardon me while I run away. Hartnett brings all the girls to the yog, and Harrison's shots are better than Yaz. Is that it, Ibbot? Did I guess the thing?
Nailed it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anywho.
I don't even need to do mine now.
All right. Sweet. Anywho, I think it's time we put this whole East Coast, West Coast beef to bed, guys. Obviously, Shake Shack and In-N-Out Burger each have their own things that they do their best. No sense in escalating this to violence in the streets. When that happens, nobody wins but Big Chicken. Now, take my order. I would like a big bag of fries topped with a greasy burger sliding out of the bun and a single warm pickle that tastes like what this week's movie felt like to watch. Oh, this isn't Five Guys? Randy, I'm a simple man. I just want to record the podcast and escape my pee-pee still attached to my body.
Yeah.
Soften for your pleasure.
Wow. Another all-timer. Nice job. Yeah. Also with us, Randy. Last time I lured him into the hot tub, he was fully clothed at the time, Jordan.
Aloha, Scott, Brian. Thank you for coming to our separate simultaneous interrogation rooms where we do state-of-the-art interrogations of multiple people by different people while a single person observes somehow, like picture-in-picture or something. Don't worry. We won't take it seriously. We won't take anything seriously around here except the profession of police detective, which we believe is truly awesome and special. It's very special. It's a very special, precious, important job that we're going to, we're going to show you respect. We're going to give you the respect you deserve as long as you follow these 3 special rules. Number 1. Always order the exact same food and always drop your order on your coworker rather than talking directly to the restaurant or picking it up yourself. Gosh, it's funny when food's wrong. Number 2, get a second job and do your second job while you're at work for your first job, which is the very special job of police detective. Read from a booklet while you're driving your car. Cars aren't special. You're special. Number 3. Get your ringtone sorted. You know what's always going to be a thing that everyone has and everyone loves in the future? Ringtones. That's what.
This movie knows it, too. It is all about the stupid ringtones. All right, you guys, with us finally, Brian Dwight Yoakam. I nearly Dwight killed him, Ibbot.
Yoakam, but don't even Dwight him.
Yeah.
No setup for this one, except I enjoyed making...
Excellent work as usual. Jeez. Okay, hold on. I got a question. How do you choose that one? Because that usually I can kind of see the path, but this one I'm like, this feels so like just grab it out of the sky.
Was there any Blondie there? Did we miss the Blondie in the movie? This is perfect. I love it.
There was no Blondie in the movie. No, I was thinking. Originally it was going to be Neil Diamond. I was going to do "Pull Out Your Heart Net." I was just like, I couldn't think of anything, but I was like, I listened to the song. And I'm like, oh my god, I forgot how much this song sucks. Like it is Neil Diamond Diamond like doing laps around the shark on water skis. It's so bad.
It's a pretty bad.
So not once did you think about doing any rap, since it was prominently featured at the beginning of this before they got past that story and then moved on to the more classics?
Rap is a little hard for me because it's so many lyrics to have to come up with.
That is a lot.
Did for a minute, one hot minute. I thought of Holly with Homicide, but you can see just from my example there how bad that would have been.
Yeah, that would have been rough.
Stick with what you know, baby. Stick with what you know.
It's fun seeing the process. I like finding out how you did it. Well,
maybe one of my monthly specials will be how I come up with the song.
You should do it. Yeah, chronicle the whole thing. Just chronicle an upcoming episode and record all that, and then when you're done, you've got your bonus. You're done. That's great.
Video of it and everything, all that stuff.
Great idea.
Wait. That's commingling of funds. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think so.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens. Commingling with the movie Hollywood Homicide is what we're doing today. And it's a movie from 2002. Hold on. Where's the date?
3, I thought.
Three, I think.
2003. There you go. This is this Ron Shelton thing. You're like, wait, I know that name. Well, it's because we've done a bunch of his movies, but we're going to let Fake Fletcher explain. We're back to the AI because of some confusion this week with a listener, but don't worry about it. We'll get more soon. Here is that.
Hollywood Homicide. 2 LAPD detectives who moonlight in other fields investigate the murder of an up-and-coming rap group. I don't think anyone enjoyed making this or watching this.
I just want to correct you, Scott. This is only our second Ron Shelton movie. We are watching this week because a few months ago we watched Bull Durham, and we're like, hey, what did this guy ever do? And then this came up.
We did.
Can I ask something really quickly about Faux Fletcher, though?
Yeah.
Is he developing a Southern accent all of a sudden?
I like it.
It depends on when you click submit. He honestly just
I'm feeling more akin to him than I have in the past, so I would say probably
yeah. Oh, nice. Oh,
yeah, he's a little more like you. This movie is a Ron Shelton joint. I thought we'd seen White Men Can't Jump. I guess we haven't done that.
We haven't yet. No. And this has me really combing through our list. Like we have, everything we see is
stuff out.
Possibly on a list. We have this huge list of movies we haven't seen, and things come out of that and move on to the main list. Yeah. And now I'm just like looking at that, like, what else is in here?
Yeah, because Hollywood Homicide turns out is really. Here's my chief problem with this film from the get-go, and then we can break it down from there. The movie has nobody I like in it, and I don't mean actors because I like these actors. I like Josh Hartnett just fine, and I like Harrison Ford, and I like all these supporting actors. I love Keith David and freaking Dwight Yoakam's a freak show and everything he's in.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And there should be things to root for and like here. I just dislike everyone.
On paper, this should be a much better movie than it is. Like the combination of the director and all these actors, on paper, which is why we thought of it for this. It's like, on paper, this is kind of perfect for Film Sack. Look at all these, like, not just actors we like, but character actors, side actors. Anthony Mackie's in this.
Yeah, a bunch of people that go on to be bigger
Bruce
later.
Greenwood, and
so like an amazing
nailed
cast.
It for me.
Yeah.
Scott nailed it for me because that's how I felt too. You have some of the most charming actors in Hollywood in your film, and you choose to instead to make them just slightly annoying. That's all they are. Just the whole movie, not likable, not enough to hate them either, not enough to put them on the bad guy side, just annoying. And I think what happened here, to be honest, is I think it started off as one movie, and then Hollywood got a little navel-gazy, and they couldn't get out of their own minds of thinking, this is hilarious. And it's like, yeah, but nobody else really deals with most of the stuff you're talking about on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
They can't really relate.
They're trying to make like a modern 48 Hours or a modern
it was a buddy cop movie with they weren't really buddies.
Right. That's the thing. Like I made a bunch of top lists for this movie. Like I was sitting there like, oh, okay. So Ron Shelton here and others are trying to start a franchise, a buddy cop franchise, and we're gonna want to see more of these people, right? And so I was like, okay, what are the top buddy cop movies of all time, right?
Sure.
And so I just started listing them, like Lethal Weapon, obviously. Point Break, I think, is a pretty interesting one.
Yeah, I like that one.
Die Hard with a Vengeance. Mr. Die Hard gets himself a buddy.
Yeah.
What do we have? Beverly Hills Cop, right?
Yeah,
Beverly Hills Cop. I mean, those are both cops that work alone that just happen to have buddies that they bring along during one installment.
Right.
So as you go down the list, you start getting into the more comedy, like Rush Hour, Tango and Cash, right?
Yeah, Running Scared.
Running Scared.
Yeah.
I do that.
I think Running Scared is actually a perfect example of making something that feels serious and has weight to it, but is also actually funny, and you give a shit about the people in it. Like I like the characters in that movie. I like people in Lethal Weapon. I like people in stupid stuff like Dragnet or I don't know, really serious stuff like The French Connection's an amazing movie with a great pair of cops. It's good, right? I mean, this reminded me of like Red Heat or one of these ones where it just feels like throwaway. It's like, well, okay, you guys are, I guess you're buddies, but you're not buddies, and that's okay.
Right.
Like, what's the Will Ferrell, the Marky Mark thing?
The Other Guys.
The Other Guys. Yeah. That's a modern example of getting the chemistry right. There's no chemistry here at all. It's like, and not even antagonistic.
And you get the feeling that if either one of them were to say, "Yeah, one new partner," nobody would be disappointed or sad or anything. It's like, let's get new partners.
Yeah, it's the big miss, right? Like you need them to either be actual buddies, or you need them to be from completely different stories, and they don't mix well, and they know it. Mm-hmm. And in this case, they seemed to be buddies who also didn't mix well. And like, no, that doesn't work.
Maybe the age range is too wide. Like he could literally be his grandson age-wise. And that's okay. And that would be, I get the idea.
They should have played that though.
Yeah,
they should have played. They should have said, because honestly, I've got to say Harrison Ford's character, it just didn't play well. Hartnett's character could have been a little bit better, but it wasn't that bad. You really needed Harrison Ford to be pissed at this kid for not being able to shoot well, and kind of taking him under his wing and being less concerned about his whole real estate thing. I get that that's part of the joke, but they lean way too heavy into that. And I was so sick of hearing real estate jokes and the interruptions with the real estate jokes. I would have much preferred had seen a conflict going on between those two characters.
Right. They're 36 years age difference, by the way.
Yeah.
Between the two of them.
I mean, they didn't even dig into the burger conflict. It's like, well, this is a perfect thing. I mean, you could even have, people like one thing in their burger. They could be fighting about that.
Jokes that go nowhere. It's
nowhere
over this movie.
Joke in a bucket is what it is, really.
Yeah.
No, it was a good way of putting it. Bucket. Yeah.
That's good.
Joke in a bucket.
Because I couldn't find a chick in the bucket never happened, so let's give it to that.
Grab a bucket.
I disagree. What happened to Lou Diamond Phillips? He shows up.
Oh, right. Yeah.
As a prostitute. And we never get to.
There must have been.
It feels like cutting room floor stuff.
There must have been subplot number 17 with Wanda, and Wanda just didn't make it into the rest of the movie.
I saw his name in the credits and I got excited because I kind of like his later stage work. And
I think we all did.
He's at the top of the credits, and it's like,
I saw Gladys Knight's name in the credits, and Gladys Knight's only job. She must have only worked 5 minutes on this movie.
She played Olivia Robideau.
She stands in a doorway and yells, and that's it.
Yep, that's her whole job. And the Pips were
Gladys Knight
nowhere.
And Smokey Robinson.
Yeah. The Pips were all behind the scenes. They didn't do anything special. But yeah, like there's a really interesting cast here. I really like Alan Dale, by the way, plays the commander guy in charge of everything, and he's not in it very much, but he's always got a presence that I appreciate. And like Keith David, I could just watch and listen to that guy.
Oh God,
yeah. And what a great trope, by the way. This is the good side of tropes. Keith David's character, because Keith David's character, he's the lieutenant cop or the captain cop who smooths everything over. He protects the cops that are being falsely accused. I love that role. I love it.
Yeah, I love that role too.
Yeah,
and this is a weird time because this is like 2003, so we're just coming out of the 90s where this police force was known to have a lot of problems, right? And as well as we'd all been witness to many highway chase scenes and everything, and the media getting involved and making it sensational and storytelling in Hollywood. And so it was I don't know, it was a lot injected into this film that just didn't go anywhere. It's probably they could have done more.
Oh, they could have done way more. And I kept going, okay, this is the formula I kind of get into, so let's go. And then it would go a bit, and I'd go, well, you're not there yet. Okay, well, is something going to happen where this is suddenly I'm going to go, oh, right, these two, thank goodness they were together. These two opposites are now the best cop force of all time.
They're bigger than the sum of their parts. Like these two together are better than they would be individually.
Yeah, and the
unfortunate
happen. Yeah, there's no tango to anyone's cash in this. And the problem with that is that by the end of it, all of your crescendo moments in action, the big street scenes, all of that stuff falls flat because I don't have anything at stake here. It's just like, well, Harrison Ford looks like he's having a bad time. And in the trivia, it even says, here it is. Harrison Ford admitted in an interview that it was the worst film he ever did in his career and that he only did it for the money. Now, we could have a little scrutiny about that, but it was also reported that Harrison Ford and Josh Hartnett did not get along during production, according to people on set. Right. Neither were very warm with each other when they went out to go promote the movie. Hartnett later revealed in an interview that he and Ford got along better toward the end, but said that there were times they would just end up sitting in a car when they were supposed to be doing a scene, and neither of them would say anything for like an hour and a half.
They just sat there quietly.
They're so far their age difference is so far apart. It just makes sense.
Yeah, but I know old people. I just want to sit down and hear about their experiences and tell me about your life, and then tell me
what it was like filming Indiana Jones or anything.
Yeah, or the other way, say you're young and upcoming. What was it like working with Ridley Scott on the set of Black Hawk Down, or there's something to talk about. And I think Harrison Ford's just a crank. I think he's tired.
I do too. Yeah, I think he's intimidating, and I could see keeping my mouth shut.
Oh yeah,
if you threw me together with him.
Yeah. Do you think the reason that so much of this stuff felt watered down and lifeless was because they had to, or they felt like they had to adhere to the true story, the Robert Souza autobiography that this is based on, and I actually couldn't sensationalize it?
I kind of wrote the same question, like because our complaint has got to be, why is there so much packed into this movie? Why is it 2 hours long and it's got so many subplots and so on? And it must just be that they were totally smitten by the source material.
The source material.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a shame they didn't get a chance to. I mean, okay, so it's called Hollywood Homicide. Before I've seen anything about it, I've seen the cover box a million times. I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. I'm assuming it's going to be a buddy cop movie, and there's going to be some serious homicide involved, right? Because it's in the title.
Sure.
And, but it's going to be a Hollywood take. It's going to be a little light take occasionally. But for the most part, it's going to be a really hard-boiled cop movie, right? And then I'm getting in and it's like all this light fare. They just kind of like brush off the East Coast, West Coast stuff. I'm like, man, y'all had an opportunity to dig deep into making it really something huge. You had Isaiah Washington, who was doing a pretty decent job. He could have been much worse, but he ended up just being some punk running down the street while they were chasing him.
Was, Yoakum was way more intimidating as a villain.
My gosh,
and I almost felt like the roles were kind of reversed as far as who you were more afraid of as someone watching this and feeling for the protagonist.
The boss level did not progress. It was not.
Yeah. The boss. You're right. The boss hierarchy was not exactly what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
Isaiah Washington, though, is also an interesting actor. If you're familiar with his work, he's mostly known for Grey's Anatomy, and on Grey's Anatomy, he's very sympathetic. He's very kind-hearted. He's kind of one of the nicer characters, and you root for him. I could never see him as like some kind of horrible kingpin in this. It just didn't work for me. His death, though, made me laugh out freaking loud.
Because this is a movie, and you love it or hate it for this. It knows that it's PG-13, this movie.
Right.
Yeah. And it's very aware of the lines you never cross. And so the movie, from beginning to end, is like, oh, well, then I'll make this a joke. And some of them actually work. I thought that worked.
Yeah, I agree. That stuff was all right. There's just stuff in here where you're like, okay, this is good primordial ooze. You also have a director and screenwriter who knows how to make stuff that people like. Although, I don't know, he hasn't had huge success since the 90s. But, I really like Bull Durham. I think it's great.
Yeah.
And there was no reason to go into this thinking that he couldn't pull off another fun relationship-heavy dude movie, Not that it has to be about dudes,
he was one of the writers of Bad Boys 2.
Sure, which I love. I love Bad Boys 2.
Much better buddy cop.
Huge fan. Movie. Yeah. Speaking of good buddy cops, he knows how to write this stuff.
Yeah. And you know what? You know what the thing about Bad Boys is, and I'm sure there are others that fit this mold, but in Bad Boys, you have one super cop and one broken man. And I feel like that's actually a really good method. And I realize sometimes filmmakers just want to do something different. But in this one, Harrison Ford is supposed to be playing the broken man, but he gets Lena Olin. He has a really nice house. Like, it doesn't make sense.
He's a little behind on his payments.
They even tried to pass off that, at some point when it was going through the mail, I was like, oh, they're fixing to reveal, he's living outside his means, right? And he's going to have a whole bunch of, repo notices. Nothing there. They did eventually get to, they're going to repo his car. And I'm like, but you didn't feel desperate. You know what I mean?
Right.
I
exactly.
wanted desperation.
Yeah, it's not, Harrison Ford is a company. No, Harrison Ford is doing just fine and has a new partner.
He's late on maybe a payment or two. It's not that bad.
Exactly. In a world where bills are mostly paid on time.
Right. That's right. And his credit rating isn't all that bad, but he's got a couple of things where he's like none of that is exciting, right? It's all super boring and dumb.
Zero stakes.
Yeah.
And also, I didn't ever feel like his conflict with Bruce Greenwood was all that important. And like the characters, what they're saying and how they're looking at each other, they're trying to act like it's really important.
Yeah.
And I just never felt that. And then it really falls apart in the interrogation scene.
I just love him and sorry, keep going. But
he's the villain of the movie. Right. And you never understand really what's this backstory.
I'm still not sure why he got arrested. I know it was told to me, but I'm not 100% sure I can tell you what happened.
It was not told to you. There was too much going on. I didn't understand the whole how Sartain and Mako and how all these guys were all interconnected because they passed by it really quickly and said, "Oh, they're kind of related to all this stuff." And then Mako wasn't even mad at Gavilan because he was dating his girl because they didn't even know it. And I was like, what is
the movie literally
coming from?
The movie gives you backstory. Like Harrison Ford says to Josh Hartnett, "How long we've been working together?" 4 years. So your dad died, huh?
Yeah,
that's right. Yes,
you're just now getting to that. Oh, come on.
Yeah, that was weird. That was
and
really
he was
weird.
a cop. Like feels like he was a baker and he died in an oven accident. Oh, that makes sense. But the fact that he's a cop, like, no, you kind of should have known this day one, day two.
And I mean, we're used to it in TV, but some movies do okay with an A and a B plot or a C plot even. Yeah. This movie had 14 plots. And they were all.
It was a geometry of plots.
It really was. And they were all kind of loose and lame, and it was hard to fit them together or relate them. Like that was really poorly handled.
And were we supposed to say like the hand wavy, I guess the psychic thing worked? Like, are we supposed to?
Yeah, dude, I wondered about that.
That's the joke, right? I guess. Yeah. Now, K-Rupt or K-Ro, that I wanted more K-Ro. He needed to be. I couldn't get enough of this guy. The guy that peed himself and at the very beginning.
Oh, yes, right.
His mom. Last night.
He was awesome.
Yeah, he was the paddle boat chase and the
paddle boat chase. Oh, he was. I could have used him. He should have been a running gag, literally.
Yeah.
Throughout, they used to use them as a running gag.
No, he was. That whole sequence was my favorite part of the movie. I'll be honest.
Yeah, mine too.
It made me actually laugh.
Pond with the duck shit.
Yep, the way he was bad mouthing him in the car, just funny. That guy was funny. He was good.
And
he brought it.
And that makes you wonder, like, if they had edited this movie down to something reasonable, I think they would have lost all the funniest parts. Because that wouldn't have been in this movie.
That would have been something that got cut because it was mostly irrelevant. It was just really for a little bit of color.
But he's our
plot.
He could have easily been our storyteller, right? Because he's there throughout the whole film. He could have everything could have been attended just a little bit through his character.
Yeah, and why they decided not to, I do not understand. It's very weird. Yeah, very weird choices because some of that stuff was
really hung up. They got really hung up on inside jokes, essentially. The lifestyles that are going on in that area.
And maybe that's it. Maybe this movie is really funny to cops and nobody else.
I'm
and
sure
people who live in LA.
I'm sure it's outrageous to like internal affairs cops because oh my gosh, it takes liberties with what they're doing.
Yeah, all that was so like I don't know. I'm no expert, okay, but I have seen enough of these things to know that this stuff's been done way better than this.
Right. It's like, were you guys like laughing at like I'm into yoga.
No, here are the two
jokes.
things. Here are the two things that I actually did laugh at, and one of them was in my intro song. But it was Harrison Ford growling at the girl to take her bike, which
that was. I felt conflicted during that whole time.
It felt almost improv, like just. It just felt so weirdly out of place for the character, but it made me laugh, and maybe that's why. And then I also chuckled at the all the helicopters reporting on all the other helicopters.
Oh yeah, dude, that was all right. Yeah.
that actually made me laugh. Like,
that was a big eye roll.
Oh, this one's here and that one's here, and then the other this one, then this other one's in Spanish. Saying,
yeah, that was
a huge eye roll for me because it's so like blasé. Like I turn on the TV. I turn on the TV and there's a chase somewhere in Southern California and all kinds of coverage. And sometimes it comes right by my house because I live pretty close to the 405.
Yeah.
But
sure.
But I'll bet in 2003, I'll bet this was kind of new stuff, and so it was funnier then.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But it I don't know, man. I just was like the whole time going, this is one of those things where they are all just taking a trip to Abilene. Like this is them just going, no, I don't know. I guess I don't feel good about this. And then the director saying, how's everyone feeling? Oh, it's great. We're loving it. Let's keep it going. Like they don't nobody wants to go.
Longer?
It's like nobody wants to drive there, but they're all driving there anyway. It's kind of like that. I don't know. I got this weird vibe. I do have some scrutiny though. Let me give you the scrutiny right here.
Scrutiny.
Because this is a big one for me. Says the film was originally going to be a drama before Suge Knight complained to the producers. The film was subsequently turned into a comedy. Did Suge Knight have that kind of power over your production? Like,
no kidding. I mean, you got to listen to Suge. Well,
I mean, I guess it's according to how it was portrayed because all that when I said earlier about the East Coast West Coast stuff.
Yeah,
I just don't know. I imagine him having that influence.
It's never been confirmed, but isn't Suge the chief suspect for the Tupac thing? Yeah.
Yes, still is.
But never still is. But never.
Although,
this is basically part his story, right? That's what Sartain is supposed to
Sartain's like him. Yeah, he's like a mogul, record mogul and all that. But the question about the killings I think that changed recently with some new evidence for the Tupac side in Vegas or something, and maybe he's not the prime.
This is going to be this generation's who killed Kennedy thing. Okay, somebody's always going to have some kind of. Oh, no, we know. It's been how many years now? You just can't get that much new evidence.
94, 97, I don't remember.
Yeah,
so
I mean, it's just too far gone.
Yeah.
We're never going to know the truth.
This is our JFK. This is JFK for 90s kids. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, the ramifications are maybe less important, but still, it's
impact-wise, though. Ramifications, yes.
Culturally, impact. I don't know about total impact, but cultural impact, yeah. Total impact.
Look, we're on a podcast here in 2024, and we're having a discussion about his murder.
So, I mean, over 25 years.
Yeah, but we also do that with Kennedy still, and also that was the president of the United States. And so, I'm just saying.
That's what I'm saying. And yet, the same breath,
I'm not sure I'm not sure I would say they have equal impact. I'd say they both.
No, I didn't say equal impact. I said cultural impact.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that. At one point, this movie and SWAT, the 2003 SWAT. Did we watch that? I think we did. Didn't we?
I think we watched SWAT.
I've seen it, and I wouldn't have watched it for any other reason than you guys made me watch it.
I thought we did SWAT.
We did. It was FilmSack 509.
There you go. Yeah, and then we did the Italian Job as well. All three of these movies were filming the exact same time in those exact same LA streets.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep. And I'm just going to tell you, SWAT and the Italian Job are better films.
They must have gotten first pick of the areas to use.
Yeah.
Right. I'm closing my eyes real tight, and all I remember was Colin Farrell in conflict with Samuel L. Jackson. I can't really.
I think that's correct. My memory is that also. Although the TV show, I always get confused too because there's some good stuff about that. But let's see, SWAT the movie. 2011, right? No. Hold on.
No, earlier.
Oh my gosh, this thing is. There's so many names. There's so many SWATs. Have you seen how many SWATs there are? There's so many.
There are many SWATs.
There's so many SWATs. But it wasn't
lots of SWATs.
LL Cool J was in one of them, right? Or the one we saw.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I can remember.
Yeah. I think there's only been one. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I still can't find it. All right, well, whatever. The point is, those were better movies, and SWAT's not a good movie. And that tells you how bad Hollywood Homicide is. Okay.
You know, I don't think Hollywood Homicide is necessarily bad, but if you're looking to laugh, cry, or have any emotions, probably not the movie for you. But if you're just looking to turn something on the TV and occasionally look over and see Harrison Ford making a face,
I'm with
Could be
Dunaway
worse.
here. I actually could see myself watching this movie again in the future, not soon, but later.
I
I
don't
could
think I
see
could
myself
ever
watching
do
this
it.
movie again. And I don't say that
Not
about a lot of
intentionally.
these middling movies.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it
I
is-
wouldn't watch it intentionally, but if I'm on Tubi, and it's the next thing on the
the
movie
queue.
channel.
Yeah. No,
There
not
is-
me. I'll skip it.
For me, there is never going to be a time that there's something on another channel that I can't.
Not even for yogas.
Nope.
Not
Nope.
even for,
Not even
yogas.
for Hartnett.
Listen,
Not even
well,
for
there are
Hartnett.
nice, pretty ladies, sure, but
Pretty ladies.
I love both Lena Olin and Lolita Davidovich. There was a
They are
movie
my
with Richard Gere
have a type.
called
And they're mine.
Intersection.
Mm.
Yes.
And who was the third? It was like basically a love triangle between Lolita Davidovich, Richard Gere, and I can't remember who the third woman was, but that's my okay, I really like this actress. She's great.
No, she's awesome, dude. Love
Yeah.
her. She's been around forever.
She's
too.
apparently married to the director too. She's married to Shelton.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But even that's not enough for me to say, yeah, I'll stick around and watch this. I will find something. I'm sure there's something on the game show channel the game show network. That I
Oh,
can flip
I'll
over.
100% with you. This is Team Gibbet speaking, everyone. No, big no to this movie. It is
Yeah.
so aggressively mid. And you hear that term
Yes.
all the time, and I don't
It's
normally like
aggressively
it.
mid. Yes, good way to put it. Yeah.
But it is really commits to being a very mid kind of experience. And
Yeah.
I gotta say, I hate to put all the blame on Harrison Ford, but I just feel like I think he effed this movie up. I
Okay,
think I
put
don't know
somebody else-
how
put
he
somebody
did
else,
it.
Put somebody else in his role. Who fixes this film?
yeah.
I think he brought us a bad vibe. That's what I think. I think he
just
brought a
think-
bad vibe to this.
Yeah,
I
but that-
think he
but that
was-
didn't
or I
answer
was
Brian's
looking to
question.
him.
Yeah, that didn't answer exactly.
I want to hear an answer.
Let
Who
me
do we
remind
cast
your
here?
witness that he is under oath and does need to answer the question.
First of all, have I been booked for anything? I don't think so. Am I under arrest right now? No,
Yes,
sir. All right.
you have been this whole
just
time.
an informational.
I'm free to
This is just an inquiry, but if we,
Look, if
we
you
can
got
hold
me
you
in
for
that- if
24
got me in-
hours.
You got
if we
me in
need
that
to.
interrogation room. I'm doing some yoga. That's what we're doing right now. I'm
Look,
doing yoga, and you're trying to find out.
I'm going to
stuff.
put you in a
Let me
room
touch you.
full of convicts and one toilet, so get ready.
See, for me,
Until
it's
you answer the
totally
question.
Josh Hartnett who, if you level that up, you might get a better result. But you have to also fix the script. You can't have like the Josh Hartnett character having so much going on with the yoga and the acting and this
Yeah, you
totally
just trim down-
unnecessary
right.
thing at
Trim
the
down
end.
the plots. Yeah.
Like if you
But
do
that-
all of that and you
Yeah.
replace Josh Hartnett with I don't know Sean William Scott. I don't know who.
Well, that's
But
not bad.
somebody-
That's not bad, actually.
Yeah,
As much
Yeah,
as
Sean
much
William
as
Scott is good for this because
Oh.
he can be a wild card for
yeah.
for you need somebody to be a little bit more interesting, and you've got two straight men and no
What if we
That's
put
such-
the Rock? What if we put the Rock in there? Would that be a better movie?
Well, as the
Maybe,
straight guy, yes. But here's the thing. I think Ibbett just said it perfectly. This thing has a template, and they did not follow the template rules. The template rules usually you have one guy who's either the seasoned, been there for a long time, very by the book, whatever guy, and then you have the little bit of loose cannon guy. It's the Lethal Weapon template, and it works. It functions for these things and makes for interesting
have a
film
loose
telling.
cannon.
Instead,
And
this
doesn't
one's
even have
like,
to
well,
be
let's have
wacky.
here's an
Yeah,
old
'cause
guy and a hippie. Great.
Right. I
we
mean,
never
but even
watched
look
Loose
at
Cannons.
look
Go ahead.
at Running Scared. You know, there's that template, but it's so subtle. Like neither one of them is the super wild card. Billy Crystal's probably more of it than Gregory Hines, but
Right.
there's still that formula, seasoned, and one of them's kind of a little nutty, wacky, and the other one's kind of more straight laced, and it really works.
Yeah, I agree with that. And this is a mistake. They screwed up, and what they
It's a
did.
mistake.
Two straight and narrows, and a Sean William Scott. I like that a lot. Or you go someone a little bit wackier for the, you keep the new guy or the young guy straight laced, and you make the older guy someone who's a little bit more on the edge, Gary Busey or
Sure.
That's a lot on the edge. They basically get Point Break if you do that, right?
Yeah, but you know what? You know what? You get current day or even 2003 Gary Busey, and you match him with Sean William Scott. That's a movie I want to get my ass in the chair and watch.
And basically,
that's a movie I'm going to prompt Chat GPT to write right now.
The summary for me is that Harrison Ford is funny when he's written this way. He's funny. He really knows how to pull off that wry, almost wink at the camera kind of thing. And Josh Hartnett is just a guy. He's just not. He's not special for this.
No. He's not. What?
Dare you?
For this.
You're offended, eh?
I really like Josh Hartnett.
I like him too.
I like Josh Hartnett.
Penny Dreadful.
He was good. Yeah, Penny Dreadful was really good.
Penny Dreadful was fantastic, and that was the thing that turned me around for him, really, or at least made me appreciate his.
He plays the best when he's in when he's broody, when he's like, that's just a better Hartnett for me.
But just attractive guy like The Faculty or Black Hawk Down, which is an excellent movie. But
it's a great movie.
It was like I said.
I like him. I like him in those like straight-laced military roles. Like I realize I'm the only person on the planet who liked Pearl Harbor. I thought he was really good in Pearl Harbor.
He was good in it.
Yeah,
he was good in it. Yeah. First time I ever saw him.
I feel like he was replaceable, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I first time I ever saw him, I think my first exposure to him was the H2O kind of reboot of the Halloween series.
Halloween. Yeah.
And I remember thinking, this
H2O click.
This kid's going to go somewhere. It just felt like he was going to head somewhere and maybe have a career. And these days, it feels like he's, I don't know, a little muted. You don't hear about a lot of Hartnett projects anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's kind of a bummer.
He had a bit role in Oppenheimer,
and
he had a starring role in an episode of Black Mirror last year. But I don't know. He doesn't feel like he's really on top anymore.
It feels like he's at a stage where he could do some great like indie projects, a lot of like smaller indie films, and do really well with them.
Yeah,
maybe some stage stuff. Della.
I liked him in Wrath of Man. You guys should see Wrath of Man, by the way. It was a recent-ish Guy Ritchie deal, Statham deal, and it was good, and he was great in it.
I've never even heard of this. I'm looking at the description. 2021.
Yeah, dude. Holt McRaney or McCallany again.
Is it just basically Transporter 6?
No, not at all.
Beekeeper is basically Transporter 6.
No, this is a very cool. Ooh, Jeffrey Donovan, forgot he was in it. This is a very cool. It's one of my favorite Guy Ritchie movies.
I guess the Guy Ritchie takes it in a different direction than the usual Statham stuff.
Oh, for sure, yeah. It's more like his classic Statham usage, where he uses him for good, not for evil.
Or
classic Statham.
Wrath of Man is actually great. I would recommend that thing to anyone. But yeah, Hartnett, gets around. He gets some shit done. He's all right. I don't mind.
Yeah.
I
like him a lot.
30 Days of Night. You know what? Go watch that again. That thing's great.
That's a really good. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Or Lucky Number Slevin, where he plays Slevin.
Slevin. Hi, I'm Slevin. Oh gosh,
Slevin.
I hate that.
Right.
Lucky
I
Number
still
Slevin.
hate the title. The title still makes my hair stand up.
It's so forced.
Look at our clever title. Look at our clever title.
We made up a name, and it sounds like this thing in this common phrase,
yeah.
which isn't even a common phrase. Who says Lucky Number 7? Nobody does.
Nobody says that. Name someone who says it, and then I'll tell you they're lying. I'll show you this again just for fun, but this is the first time I've ever seen Harrison Ford like this.
Yeah.
Look in our Discord.
You and his proctologist.
I guess boxers.
Yeah.
Another scene that was perfectly funny but didn't need to be in the movie.
None of his love scene crap needed to be anywhere near me. I hated all that.
Well, that's because this movie is a guy movie. It's a boy movie, very strongly boy movie, and it only casts women as appendages to the men. So like Lena Olin plays girlfriend, Lolita Davidovich plays madame, criminal prostitute, right? Gladys Knight plays mom. It's like that's all we can do. We have the only other woman in the movie is a detective who's doing an interrogation, Josh Hartnett, and he ends up getting his hands on her bare skin in the middle of an interrogation. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, none of that worked. All of that bugged me. That was all way, way too zany. I can't do zany. Don't bring me zany. And don't try to tell me this is based on a true story and then do zany shit like that.
Right.
know.
Yeah, I think according to the deal, it's like the only actual thing that seems like came from the book was the dude with the handcuffs on shooting the gun in the parking lot of the police station.
That was fun.
Yeah.
That was
Which
fun.
was fun.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, but if that's the entire entirety of the basis of reality of your true to life story, why are we bothering? Like, why bother? Make a whole new thing then. This cast is amazing. You got the money. You got a director who knows his shit. It just feels like something went wrong and nobody said anything.
By the way, speaking of Lolita Davidovich, I like her. I really do. But I'm sorry, Lolita Davidovich is when you order Marcia Gay Harden off of Teammate.
Oh, no. No.
I mean, Marcia Gay Harden is amazing, no question. But
yes,
no, she's like the whole time. I'm just like, wow, they really have the Marcia Gay Harden wig on her, and it's like all the perfect parts there.
Yeah,
I feel like Marcia Gay Harden plays just more hard-edged. I mean, yeah, in this she's kind of tougher. Lolita Davidovich is tougher, but still, it's not her typical thing.
Yeah. Now, I got to admit to something that's kind of embarrassing. I had what I thought was the IMDb up for this movie, and I kept seeing I kept seeing Joey Pantoliano on there. And I kept going, man, when does he show up? Because he's not in here. Why is he on the list?
Are you looking at Hollywood Confidential or what was it?
No, I for some reason I have a link that permanently when I go to IMDb it permanently goes to the Matrix.
Goes at first.
Sequel. Right. It's your bookmarked. Was that was the
that makes me so mad.
It is annoying because in the spreadsheet it just says IMDb.com, but for whatever reason it links to this and it's always him.
My YouTube is a Desperado trailer. I've seen it like a million times. Every time I go to YouTube, it goes straight to that. I'm like, shit.
My Amazon is bone conduction headphones.
So I have a confession to make, and I'm embarrassed. Okay, but I'm gonna confess this. I realize we're supposed to watch these movies when we sack them, and I'm sure I sat and watched this movie. I have no idea where Eric Idle is in this movie.
I do.
He's near the beginning. He's just a celebrity that they're pulling through the police station that got arrested. That's it. He walks by the hookers and they recognize each other and chit chat and he says, "I've never Like,
here let's get him out of the way on audio.
You can hear the entirety of Eric Idle's performance in the clip Scott's about to play.
Yeah, I'm just gonna play this, and this is the entirety of his thing in the movie.
I was not soliciting. I was doing research. Research is not soliciting. I've never had to pay for sex. I have 4 BAFTA nominations. Evening, Gloria. Do you know who I am?
It was actually kind of a very, very Monty Python kind of joke, you know?
Yeah.
I got a cut of this movie that didn't include that. There's no way I saw that.
You watched it on Netflix with
Max
with the rest of us, right?
Yeah.
Come on now.
That is, I mean, it's Eric Idle, and
it's a blink and you miss it kind of thing.
I've seen everything he's ever done many times.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that happened.
You got to rewind and watch that scene. It was a very Monty Python joke. It was actually okay, but what was somebody friends with him? Was he just around the set and they said, "Hey, Eric, you're gonna die soon. You want to come be in this bad movie?" He's still with us, by the way. He's not dead. But why else would Eric Idle bother? What is you get paid for that?
Well, I feel like the same situation with Robert Wagner. Like,
yeah.
Dude. Which was the weirdest little cameo placement. I mean, weirder than the Smokey Robinson as a taxi driver kind of placement.
Yeah, but this is a joke about Hugh Grant, right? Like it's the same. It's an Englishman who gets arrested.
Once again, it was
no.
So
he's talking
inside. You had to. I was like, I don't get this reference. I get that it's a reference,
but Brian's talking about You're not talking about Eric Idle anymore. You're talking about what's his name? You're talking about
Hugh Grant.
You're not Wagner? Hugh Grant.
Like when he's doing the Hollywood Walk of Fame star, right?
Oh,
in the film.
I thought you were talking about the dude, Mr. Number One or whatever his name is on. What's his name? The guy, the Harvard.
Austin Powers.
Yeah,
you're talking about Robert Wagner.
Robert Wagner, right? You were talking about Robert Wagner. He's got nothing to do with Hugh Grant, right?
You're still. I saw you're talking about the Eric Idle connection to Hugh Grant, or being the parallel to Hugh Grant.
Right. I guess what I'm saying is the having him do the thing at the Chinese theater. What was the point of that? Like what?
Right. Yeah. There was nothing. I thought there was going to be way more like the car was going to crash into the crowd. They were all going to jump out of the way at the last minute. He was going to land in the wet cement or something. But it felt like it was.
So Robert Wagner got his star on the Hall of Fame in July of 2002. They must have just been filming at the same time and decided to work it in.
Okay.
It must have been a crossing.
It looked like it was filmed differently even. It looked like news footage versus the film footage. So they probably did do that. And also when the crash happened, they kept putting his hands in the cement and, acted like there wasn't a giant crash right in front of the theater.
Right. Like exactly. Like it was shot at different times or
Who's the little dude with him? Is that that's not I can't think of his name. The little white-haired old man that was standing with Wagner.
Oh, I thought just the president of the Hollywood Walk of Fame committee or something.
I
was
thought,
that?
I thought it was an actor.
Like an actor or
I thought it was some old 40s guy. Like we should all know. Let's see this guy right here.
Once again, I felt like I was on the outside looking in.
Yeah, that guy right there. Yeah,
that's not.
Mickey Rooney.
Mickey Rooney.
Is what you're thinking?
That's not who that is.
It kind of does look like Mickey Rooney.
Yeah.
But...
I mean, Mickey Rooney, I think was
That's
dead.
not the Rooney.
Mickey Rooney was dead by then. Hold on, Mickey.
I think so.
I'm gonna look it up. Mickey Rooney died in he died in 2014, so that might have been him.
Because I was in the bathroom with him in like 2008, so definitely not.
I'm sorry. Can we back the truck up and tell us more about that story? How did you end up in the?
Oh yeah, he was what year was it? He was at Dragon Con one year.
Yeah.
And I had to go to the bathroom. Well, I had to go to the bathroom, and I'm like, I just went into the bathroom across in the Hall of Fame walk of Fame or whatever, and I was walking in the bathroom, and all of a sudden there's like this really big guy just standing there. I'm like, oh, okay, this guy is he like the bathroom clerk? What is this guy doing? And so I was watching I was side eyeing this guy, so I went over and I was peeing next to this old guy while I was at the urinal, and I kind of look over next to him, I'm like, oh hi, this is I should be excited. Oh,
yeah.
Hope I don't get beat up.
Did you do anything?
I'm trying to pee.
Did you say anything?
Why was
to
Mickey
him?
Rooney at Dragon Con though? That feels like a weird combination of actor and convention.
How close was this to that night at the museum business he was in? Because maybe that
might have been
Okay, that makes sense. Sure.
Maybe he was celebrating Chinese New Year, like the
rest of us,
honor of his people.
Of his people. I'm sure that's true. Do you think Robert Wagner? This is a total side note.
It was 2006 that he was there. That's when.
Okay.
It was. Yeah.
Okay. Is this a weird question to ask? Do you think Robert Wagner, his star, is like anywhere near Natalie Wood's star out there?
I was thinking you were going to say, do you think Natalie Wood's remains are anywhere near the cement that he put his hands into?
But like it would be a little awkward. It's like, oh, who's your star? Whose star is right next to yours, Robert? Natalie Wood's star is right there. I didn't kill her.
Yeah, that's when you don't have a choice on something like that, it burns me up. Like Tina's the best example of this is at, I think it's Forest Lawn in Hollywood, Forest Lawn Cemetery. You've got all of the what is it called when they're not buried in the ground, but they're
Mausoleum.
Thank you. The mausoleum spot for Marilyn Monroe. And Hugh Hefner paid X million dollars, whatever, to have the one right next to hers. And I think you should have a say. I think you should posthumously have a say.
I think
in
so
who
too.
Gets put in any of the squares around you.
Well, especially that place, right? You'd have the money to have a say. You should be able to have it in your contract to say, well, all right, I don't want any of these particular. Here's a list of people I don't want anywhere near me.
Here's my estate. They can make the decision, and But
that would be weird. Yeah. Let's see what else I wrote. This is my first 3 notes. This movie sucks.
Wow!
Why am I here?
How early in the thing did
pretty
you have
pretty
that,
early, probably first 10 minutes. Then I wrote these leads have no chem, which I meant chemistry, and then I wrote nice undies indie. Those are the 3 three things. But it did feel like an average. It felt like an episode of the A-Team toward the end. It was like just mayhem for no reason. Stakes were low.
Have you ever
scenes? Chase scenes where, one of the things that causes suspense and makes a chase scene feel relevant is when you show how close the people are to each other. They just kept cutting back and forth to the person being chased and the person chasing without any frame of reference to say, oh, he's right around the corner or he's half a block down. No, here's Harrison Ford running down the street. Here's this other guy in an office building. Like, how close are these two things together?
They could have been in different cities. That's how that felt. That was really weird. Yeah. And Randy, I don't know if you have it near you. There's a in your tropes list, but there's a tired old joke that you see in a billion movies where a very hyper moment is happening, very intense, chase or something, but then you got to take an elevator and there's nice soft music while you're
elevator
in the elevator.
Music, and it just pauses everything.
What is that called? Because that is a trope from hell. You see it in everything. Every movie's got this scene where somebody has to sit and act like nothing's going on and go up an elevator with some seemingly unconnected people who are just sort of going about their day. And
it's the action sequence intermission. And
I hate that.
Like, I feel like filmmakers, you're right, they do it too much, but they do have a good reason for it. Like, this movie has an action sequence to end the movie, or near the end of the movie, that goes on for like 35 minutes.
It's pretty long.
And it's way too long. Way too long, like so long. And the running gag throughout the whole movie is that in the middle of excitement, Harrison Ford takes a phone call.
Yeah.
And like, that's supposed to be hilarious.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be.
And it wasn't at all. It was just like, oh, so you've got a buyer for the house. And then he waves his gun around and these ladies on the elevator are like supposed to
so like the elevator and the
Yeah.
elevator intermission combines the two. And it's like, oh, wow, that's too much. That's way too much. Because we keep looking at these terrorized women.
Yeah,
and
that annoyed me.
They're funny, but not for the reason the filmmakers thought.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't like it. Also, the horn honking scene, too zany. Like he's on a bike
zany.
and he's going beep, 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 beep. It's like,
yes.
All right, I get it. He's an old guy and he's forced to ride the bike because he doesn't have another option.
It's Hartnett kidnapping the wife and those kids.
Right,
I was like, okay, that's too far. Okay.
Yes, there's no way Hartnett is smart enough to know not to talk about beheadings and horrible things with kids in the car. He's not so out of touch that he wouldn't do that.
Too zany.
You're out of touch.
It's too zany and too cheap. It's just too easy. Like I'm not saying this stuff is easy to make. I'm sure it's hard. I'm sure that getting the right chemistry and making a movie as good as I don't know, Lethal Weapon or something. I think that's hard work, but this movie just never found their foot. Just never had it happen. And these two just never had chemistry. And whatever, behind the scenes, I don't care. Like, good actors will create good situations, and this was just a bad pairing. Just bad. Yeah. And I like them both separate, but, I don't know. I felt this way about LaBouffe and him in Crystal Skull.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if we might have found our culprit, but
if he's the thing that you just can't find chemistry. With.
He might be hard or something.
I've been blaming Anne Heche this whole time.
Wait.
On
Anne
the
Heche.
other
Wait,
hand,
why is it Anne Heche? Hold on. What's the
6
connection?
Days and 7 Nights.
Oh, right.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
the most rom-com of all time.
Yeah. That thing was devoid of rom.
Since you brought it up, I went to a couple of different movie rating sites and I made a list of the 8 worst Harrison Ford films.
Oh, this will be good. Okay.
I compiled numbers.
How many can we guess?
I'm not gonna well, okay, I have them in an order, but they don't have to be in an order. But I'm saying that I have numbers 33 through 40. Okay. And that's kind of arbitrary. There's probably more than 40 Harrison Ford films, but this is what I was able to compile. So do you want to guess? Do you want to
I mean, I would put so excluding this and 6 Days, 7 Nights.
So those are in there, yes.
Those are in the 7, that you've got. Let's see.
I'm going to guess that Firewall movie's pretty high on there.
Yes, I have it at 38.
Oh, God, I forgot about that.
Yeah. And don't we have one coming up?
Is it fair for me to look at a list of Harrison Ford movies, or is that cheating?
You can. I don't think I don't think any of this matters. This is there's some real garbage here, but there's also some debatable stuff, right?
Is Crystal Skull in the list?
No.
Oh, it should be.
No.
It should be.
Cowboys and Aliens?
Yes. I have Cowboys and Aliens at number 33.
Oh,
so
great.
That's coming up in our list.
Yeah, it's like 2 episodes away. We got to watch that. Oh, I know one.
We'll move that around.
What about that Ender's Game deal?
Not this low.
Oh, really? Okay. People didn't like that much, but how about when he tried to play a Russian? What was that called? Where he was like a submarine captain. Right. Something. Not the Widowmaker. Widowmaker.
K-19
Widowmaker.
Oh, K-19 Widowmaker. That's it. That would have been around.
Not on this list.
Not on this list. Really?
No, I'm telling you, the best on this list is Cowboys and Aliens at 33.
Soon.
And then you've named 34, 36, and 38.
All right.
Random Hearts. I don't even know what that is.
39 on the list.
How about
the second to worst movie?
What about
I only know that movie by its movie poster. That is all I know about Random Hearts.
There's a list I'm looking at that says Paranoia. I don't even know what that is. 2013.
So that is objectively Harrison Ford's worst movie. Everywhere you look at ratings, Paranoia is 0. It is like 5% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
It's so bad.
Wow. I don't even know what it is.
Liam Hemsworth, Gary Oldman, Amber Heard, and Harrison Ford. Jeez.
Yeah.
Again, another one with Barry Levy, or a screenplay, never mind. It's another one that almost on paper sounds like, oh, this would be really good for FilmSack, but probably would be unwatchable.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to sack that anytime soon.
Yeah.
Wow. Harrison Ford put on some age in 10 years after that. 2003, this one, and then this. Boy,
so now that you've gotten the bottom 3, or really the bottom 4 out of 5, I'll give you the other 2. You named Cowboys and Aliens, 6 Days, 7 Nights. 35 is The Devil's Own, 1997.
Oh yeah, The Devil's Own.
I don't know.
Right.
Then this is Hollywood Homicide, and then the bottom 3 are Firewall, Random Hearts, and Paranoia. You have not come up with Extraordinary Measures, 2010.
Don't know that one either. I must have missed.
And so, like, these are all of an age. They're between 97 and 2011, 2013. And apparently Harrison Ford just couldn't pick a script to save his life.
Oh, Devil's Own was the Brad Pitt deal, right? Is that the one? Did we see this? We didn't see this.
I don't think we've seen it because I don't think I've seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's got Ruben Blades in it. Remember when he was a big deal? Oh, yeah, Ruben Blades. Well, I still kind of like.
I'll tell you,
Blades.
I want to agree with you that this was the worst of the Ford movies that we've sacked.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Looking at this, like, we've sacked some of his best. We've sacked The Fugitive and Blade Runner and Air Force One.
Yeah, these are great. I love everything you said right there. Is good.
Yeah. So this is our 8th Harrison Ford movie. I promise you we will sack him again in the future.
Do we do Clear and Present Danger? Don't remember.
Not yet.
Okay. We did the other one, though.
Yes, we did the Ben Affleck one, and we did Patriot Games.
Patriot Games, that's it. Can never
remember. When you pause in HBO Max, and it's like, you might want to watch these. It's like a whole list of these, and I was looking at.
You might want to watch these instead of the movie you're currently watching. It's not too late. You can back out of this. And
you can still get out, man. You can still get out. All right. I didn't find anything gross other than it's just stupid, but nothing was gross.
Yeah. If you'd known that it was pee that Harrison Ford was lifting off the floor and bringing to his face,
then I might. Yeah, maybe
you're splashing in it.
Yeah. Right. Some of that maybe. I don't know. That burger looked gross.
Bag that. Have it on my desk.
Oh, the burger. I was guessing that
the burger looked. It did look gross, and I don't mind mayo on my burger, but the way they depicted mayo, that looked wrong.
They really did.
It didn't
they
look
took
right.
some mayo and they stirred some Elmer's glue into it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was sticky and stringy and stuff. F that business. Not interested. Well, all right. Well, should we do some clips then to do this? Okay. I like, look, the one thing I like about clips is, number one, sometimes it will shed new light on what we saw and maybe change our minds just a little. I don't think that happened today. So here's the clips, everybody. Don't know nothing.
Man, I don't know nothing about no East Coast, West Coast hip-hop gangbanging bullshit.
Love it. That guy's great.
So that's Master P, yeah?
Yeah, could use more Master P.
Master P before.
Have we, and what? What did we see?
Yeah,
Gone in 60 Seconds.
Oh.
Scooby-Doo for sure.
Okay.
Gone in 60 Seconds. He's in that, and he has practically the same line. If you could dig up clips from that movie, He says practically the same thing.
There's a fair number of rappers in this thing.
Well, yeah, the story is supposed to be about rappers at the beginning. So
that's true.
It was supposed to be about that story.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything he's done that I really liked. I can't think of anything. Killing Hasselhoff, that was fun. All right, moving on to the next clip, which is Don't Call Me Sir.
Don't call me sir. I work for a living.
Okay, Harrison Ford. Jeez Louise.
Jeez, totally unnecessary line.
Yep. But here's that puddle of piss.
Did you get the puddle of piss and the shoe prints in the electrical closet?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great line.
Puddle of piss.
Here's a clip. Let's see, who sent me this? Oh, this is actually sent to me by Tina, but I think she got it from your mom.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
This is you trying to impress your date with the businesses that you have.
Sure.
Because you were trying to, get this girl she was pretty materialistic. She was into the money and the whatnot. And so this is what you told her.
3 tanning salons and 2 original silk-tip nail parlors.
Wow. Did that work on her?
That was actually, that was actually part of a prom day. We went there and before the actual thing, before the actual event, and then a Shoney's for dinner.
A little mani-pedi, a Shoney's, all the bacon you can eat.
A little tan, exactly. Yeah.
You say Shoney's, I think bacon immediately. I think.
Bacon. Oh, really?
Yeah. It's all I think about with Shoney's is bacon.
That's what I think. La Quinta, because La Quinta is Spanish for next to Shoney's.
See, when you said Shoney's, I thought breakfast sandwich. I don't know what.
Weird. Brian Dunaway, what do you think of when I say Shoney's?
Shoney's, the place that got shut down. Used to go to for breakfast bar.
Yeah, breakfast bar.
Ooh,
the breakfast bar. That's what it is. I would make my own sandwich.
Yeah,
from the crap
interesting.
Breakfast bar.
And that brings me back to bacon because it was all you could eat.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
One big circle of life. All right, the only part of Lou Diamond Phillips I captured was the sound of him rubbing his teeth. Are you ready for that?
No, yeah.
Here you go. And I'll do it again.
Yeah, I heard that as well. Yeah, I heard him do that because he went getting his lipstick off.
Yep, he had a lipstick on his teeth, so he was taking it off.
I just want to hate that.
I hate it too.
Right.
I hate it.
I'm with you.
It's gross. And maybe that grossed me out. I don't know.
Well, I mean, this comedy wasn't that kind of comedy. Last week we had a lot of that, over the top, the Burbs comedy where you'd have a silly boing and stuff here and there. But this movie didn't do it except just like a few times. And I'm like, this isn't slapstick or physical humor.
Sure.
Except for when Harrison Ford rips the bike out of the kid's hand. I'm like, okay, a little bit.
Oh, I got sound from that. Just you wait. Here's my favorite alternate Batman. So my second favorite Batman voice, my second favorite Commander Pike, Mr. Bruce Greenwood himself.
This is a fully authorized investigation within the jurisdiction and the purview of the Charter of the City of Los Angeles.
Oh, please, I'll open it.
Go ahead.
I love him. He's great. And that guy's, I think he's in his 70s now. Freaking ripped.
Oh, really?
Yeah, wow. Watch Gerald's Game again. You're going to be mind blown that old guy has kept himself in the shape he's in. It's amazing. All right, here's it himself, Keith David.
Look, as immediate supervisor of these men, you are bound to inform me of any investigation involving my section.
Man, nobody talks like that.
Love
guy.
him. His voice is just fantastic.
It's the most unique voice in history, I swear.
Love when they use him in Rick and Morty.
Oh yeah, he's really good. He's the president, right, or something?
Yeah, the president. Yep.
And Keith David is our film Sactor. This movie, this is our 9th time seeing Keith David on Film Sack.
Yes. Wow.
I'll give it this same character that he played in Armageddon, and I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
He was, we loved him in The Thing.
Did we see The Thing? We saw The Thing sequel. Did we see the original Thing? I don't remember.
Yeah,
we did see the original Thing. Yeah,
never remember.
I didn't think we did. We see The Thing prequel.
I thought we did.
I don't remember it.
I think I watched it for recommendals or watched it when we were doing the things with Nicole pre-recommendals.
We must have, because I saw it, but I wouldn't have seen it without you guys. That's weird.
Yeah.
The Thing.
I think our most recent Keith David was Nope. And
Nope.
I really liked that movie. I don't know if you guys remember it fondly.
Yeah, the movie's great.
Yeah. Loved it.
Oh man, searching quicksack.li for The Thing is really hard because it's in so many descriptions. It just goes on forever. Yeah, you're right.
It'd be fun to actually put the horror from The Thing into all those other movies, like that The Thing You Do.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Film Sack 88. I have it completely backwards that I watched The Thing 2 with you guys. I don't know why. And I've seen The Thing like many times since because that movie rocks. All right, here's a clip about a guy. That was a guy.
That hooker last night. That was a guy. That was a cop. That was a guy cop.
Yeah, that was kind of funny.
Oh, and then you get a little bit of that ringtone.
Yeah.
Oh.
Everything was interrupted with a ringtone.
In my nightmares, I still hear my girl ringtone. What was Hartnett's? Hartnett had one too. What was his? It was a modern song.
Oh shoot, I didn't capture it, but it was like you're right. It was like a more 80s, 90s thing or something.
Yeah,
can't remember. It was annoying though. Okay, I don't know what this is. I'll just play it.
Great and the near great. I used to be huge.
Oh yeah. So we forgot to mention that your old pal Ed Wood, what's his name? What's the actor?
Yeah.
Damn it! Why can't I think of his name?
Funky Town, by the way, is Hartnett's ringtone.
Martin Landau. Oh yeah, Funky
Martin
Town.
Landau,
That's right.
yeah.
Martin Landau was in this, and he wasn't in it very long, and only had a very quick few things to say. But he did say,
I used to be huge.
And he did say,
I could be huge again.
Yeah. And then Harrison Ford said,
Still huge to me, Mr. Duran.
Yeah, we all.
And see, I thought that was going to be a bit talking to his prom date's dad.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'll admit I thought about it. All right, here's a good yell. Oh! All right, that's a fun one. I don't remember who that was. Oh! That's a good one. And then Ford angry acting yell thing when he's still on the bike.
I love that. Why I love that is the only thing I love from this movie. But I love that.
It's clearly like,
because it almost feels like it's Harrison Ford's real reaction to doing this movie.
Yeah, like that kid really annoyed him and would hit him if he wasn't on camera.
I bet that kid really had to actually have some therapy for being in that scene with a screamy Harrison Ford.
Yeah, it's really something to hear him do that.
Mommy, I still have nightmares about the screaming man.
He lives in the basement all these years later. 25 years later. All right.
25 years later, yeah.
Here's the scream death of that dude. This part made me laugh. It's just a stupid thing, and I liked it.
You know what? And small kudos to this film for not having him land on the top of a car.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yes. There were a lot of times in this movie when I was like, "Oh, they didn't do the thing I was expecting."
Yeah. For a movie that does most everything else I expect.
Yes. Maybe they just couldn't get a car. I don't know, garbage.
Nice
garbage bin. Sure.
Nice that they skipped it a couple of times. All right. Well, that all went real good. So what that means is checklist time. This movie has 14 unresolved plots. Check. Han Solo humping a two-way interrogation mirror. Check.
Yeah.
I forgot about that scene until I just reminded myself. And then criminal underuse of Keith David. Check. I think that's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that was the film set
should
checklist.
be booked for that.
I agree. Book him, Dano. Star Trek connections. Bruce Greenwood's the only one I could think of, so I assume there's more. What do we got?
I'm going to go quick. We have Alan Dale as Commander Preston in this. He was in Star Trek Nemesis, bit role. Clyde Kusatsu was the coroner with the one joke in this movie.
With the squirty body. Juicy.
Yeah, he was Admiral Nakamura in Star Trek The Next Generation. Greg Daniel was in an episode of Voyager. This was a character named Detective Mando Lopez in this movie. James McDonald was a character named Danny Broom in this movie. He was in an episode of Deep Space Nine. Jason Matthew Smith was one of the repo guys in this movie. He was in both Star Trek and Star Trek Into Darkness as bit roles. Tom Todoroff was Internal Affairs Detective Zeno, so he's the guy next to he's a weird looking dude next to Bruce Greenwood. He was in an episode of Star Trek Voyager.
Yeah.
And then finally, Bruce Greenwood is one of our best Christopher Pikes. I feel like he's been finally surpassed.
He was number one. Yeah, he was number one for me until the new stuff.
Until Mount. Right?
Yeah.
Anson Mount. Yeah.
Anson Mount really nailed it to the point that it was impossible not to notice. That's really good. All right, well done. I'd give the soundtrack a grade A for average. Just thought it was sufficient for the work involved.
Yeah. It was a little TV show at times. A little like when they were up on the rooftop fighting and chasing each other from rooftop to rooftop. It felt a little
little 18.
I don't know.
Anything to distract me from the fact that old man Harrison Ford is trying to.
Yes, right. How Isaiah Washington has to really try to leap over that gap, and then they just kind of, we're not going to show Harrison Ford crossing it. He's already on the other side. We're not going to say how he got there.
Yeah,
This is an Alex Werman scored film. When you're hearing that scored music, that's Alex Werman.
Yeah,
pretty good composer. Yeah. I mean, I think he got nominated for some awards for the music from March of the Penguins.
Do you have any significant earwormans that I would know?
I actually just looked it up. He won a BMI Film Music Award for March of the Penguins.
So he worked with George Miller. That's cool. Oh no, that's not March of the Penguins. That's the other one. Never mind. I got all excited for a second. Shit. All right. It's fine.
But I think Brian Dunaway hears Alex Werman every year when he watches Four Christmases.
That's right.
Oh, that's cool. All right. Well, good job, Alex Werman. Werman.
That's right.
Yeah, Werman.
Let's get to the social media post. All right. Look, we got 280 characters to work with. You guys got to sum that thing up in those many characters. And we're going to start this week with Beware Andy.
Hollywood Homicide. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? One art a day, and thou art a pile of dung. Could this have been a better time in every way? Yes.
You're so that's most accurate poem of all time.
Nice.
Nicely done. Nice. Now we nicely roll over to Brian Dunaway.
Hollywood Homicide. Knee deep in Hollywood navel gazing duck shit.
All right. Got some characters to spare. Don't want to waste them. I get it.
Oh, man. Mine's even shorter.
Oh, my gosh. Really? Let's go to Brian Ibbett then.
Hollywood Homicide. Feeble Weapon.
Oh!
Now that's good.
Perfect. I love it so much.
That's a good alternate title. You beat me.
I want one of those shitty movie posters. Does anybody follow those accounts that post shitty movie posters?
No.
Oh, there's one called Awful Fan-Made Posters, I think is the name of it.
I'm into that.
And it is truly awful. It will hurt you.
Oh, I follow them. I just found out. I didn't even know I followed them. I guess I do. That's great. I have to catch up on what they've been doing. All right, let's do this now. Alternate titles. Even though I think Ibbott's was maybe the best alternate title of the day, let's try these other two that were almost the titles. Hollywood Bombicide, because it bombed, see, at the box office and with critics. Or Indiana Jones and the Stupid Movie. How about that?
That's just right out there. Like it is.
Yeah, I like that one. All right, emails and texts and things. We get stuff from you guys. You guys email us at filmsack@gmail.com. Like Richard from Nashville, who said, "Hey Scott, hope you and the guys are doing well. I captured what I think would be your grossest moment from the movie Aliens. The late great Bill Paxton was letting the spittle fly, and you just know it hit poor Michael Biehn right in the kisser off screen. Have a great one, Richard." So I'm going to send you guys a file here. He captured a screen. This is it. I never noticed it before, but there he is. Look at that spit.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot of
Photoshop.
spit.
It's a real thing, he says.
Yeah. But he's all around that smoke and stuff, too. You know how it is when you get all that.
Well, it's right after they crashed, right? The crash landing.
Yeah.
And 5x5 ladies dead.
A minute before game over, basically, is when this happened.
Game over, man.
This reminds me, I just want to praise Hollywood Homicide for the quality of the stunts and the visual effects.
No, that was good.
I never once noticed something like, digitally added smoke. And when Harrison Ford runs and jumps over the back of a convertible Mustang, that was Harrison Ford. He did a really good job.
Was it really him? Wow.
Yeah.
His back was so bad since Temple of Doom. I always thought he seemed like he was slower in most movies, but I don't know. That's pretty good. Not bad for 65 or whatever he was.
Because Scott, if this was a visual effect in 2003, it's really impressive. It was Harrison Ford. You see his face clearly as he is running and throwing himself around.
Maybe he did. Maybe he did his own
Nowadays, it would just be someone with Harrison Ford's body, and you'd paint the face on. Right?
That's true.
Except for when he was was on the roof that one time and he was leaning back. I was like, that's not Harrison Ford.
No, yeah, there was a moment in that fight where, it was kind of obvious. We also got a text, 801-471-0462. This is a text, a couple of these actually. Well, this one is from nobody's name, so I'm just going to tell you what it is. It says, yo, you guys wanted a beach movie?
Yo.
Here you are. Dr. Coldfoot and Bikini Machine.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
I
Did we
love
say?
it.
I mean, I know we were talking about Annette Funicello and all that sort of thing. So, what is that, Dr. Coldfoot?
Dr. Coldfoot, or Goldfoot, sorry.
Goldfoot.
Oh, even better. Goldfoot.
I'm looking at it.
Oh, there it is right there.
It does
1965.
Right.
Oh, Frankie Avalon again. Vincent Price
There we
is in
go.
this.
Oh, Vincent Price. I hope he's Dr. Goldfoot.
Yeah, dude.
He is.
He stepped in it.
Okay, so what is this, like a Bond thing?
No, it's funny you got Frankie Avalon, but
Yeah,
no, Annette
it is a James Bond.
Funicello.
Yeah.
Funicello.
A skirt-chasing spy and a millionaire bachelor must foil mad scientist Dr. Goldfoot's plan to use his army of bikini-clad robots to seduce wealthy men into signing over their assets. Where's the beach part?
Works for me.
So are they on the beach,
Oh,
or is this
Annette
just...
Funicello does make a cameo appearance. There we go.
Okay, so there is some beach shit in here.
There's some
yeah.
beach shit.
Some beach shit.
I'm only into it if it's bingo.
Three of these actresses.
Bingo.
Three of these actresses on IMDb are all on the beach. This is all they ever did. Four
Awesome.
of them. That's amazing.
That's
If you have a thing, you stick with it.
That's right. Here's another one where this is from Larry. We got his name. He says, "Hey guys, just letting you know that Randy was wrong about Robert Picardo being on DS9 before he was on Voyager. He did appear as EMH's character on DS9, but that's a season 5 episode. Voyager had been on the air for a few seasons before then." He says, "Also, that's an important DS9 episode lore-wise because we find out an important piece of info about Julian."
Hey.
All right, take care, says Larry. Yeah.
You try to handle some Star Trek trivia, you're going to get the occasional, excuse me.
Actually.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, no, I thought something was fishy with it, but he confirms it. And I do remember that DS9 episode being very good. So everyone go watch it, I guess.
It's called Star Trek Connections.
There it is. That's right. Let's move on to some patrons I'd like to thank. There's some new folks like Fenrock, Illusioned One, Oislin McColgan, and Ryan.
Oislin.
Ryan.
It's probably an Irish name pronounced Leanne or something.
Probably. They do that over there. But Ryan, I love that Ryan's in here because everyone else sounds crazy, but Ryan's just like a normal name.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, because you guys signed up at patreon.com/filmsack, guess what you get? You get movie-related art in the mail from me. You get monthly host episodes. Who we got queued up? Ibbot, right? Or who's that?
Yeah, Randy first, and I'm April.
I don't think Scott has ever got it right.
Nope.
I love it. It's every time it's like,
and all I got to do,
chance you'll get it
exactly.
right.
All I have to do is click this Discord pin thing, and there it is. But I still get it wrong.
25% of the time, he's wrong 100% of the time.
That's right. But those are awesome, and you want those. Promise on that. You also get pre-show content every week and no commercials ever. What else can you ask for? Go on over to patreon.com/filmsack today and become one of our beloved patrons. Our next movie is going to be, Randy, I don't have it written. What is it?
Oh, it's going to be Elektra.
Ooh, the Daredevil companion, right?
Time we get back to some Marvel shit because we had a lot of DC shit back in 2023.
Yeah.
We're ready for some Marvel
Yeah,
shit.
and we sacked Daredevil last year, and the original goal was to sack them back to back, and then we watched Daredevil like, oh no, we're not going to do this.
Give it a little time. We need a little time in between things.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be getting back to that, though, because I have zero memory of any of it. I don't remember.
I remember liking it, so we're going to see how wrong I was.
Yeah. But I remember
almost tell you right now.
I remember liking Daredevil more than I do now, so maybe that you'll have the same problem. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, that's next week. Elektra, where is it streaming?
Right now, it is on HBO Max, or HBO Max's Max.
Yeah.
HBO Max.
Yeah, as Brian Dunaway always calls it.
Brought to you by HBO Max.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Dunaway does it every week, so call it HBO Max. That's the thing. That's the true name. We should call it that. That's fantastic. But that's where that'll be living. So go watch it if you haven't seen it yet. We had somebody write in and say, or maybe it was a Discord discussion. Somebody was saying, well, here's the problem. They got ad tiers now on Netflix, and when we watch something on Netflix, sometimes the ad tier level doesn't have the show or the movie.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, really?
I did not know that.
I didn't either. I just assumed everything had ads. So I don't know.
I like that idea. I like to think that there's some studios out there going, no, you are not showing our movie. Unless
you're putting ads on it.
Guys, I've been thinking I need to have fewer than 11 active subscriptions.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, same, dude.
Too many.
Yeah.
I feel the exact same way.
We could all just join Tubi.
$1 million idea. Someone needs to do it. Is where you basically create your list of where you create your list of things you want to watch, and then it tells you, okay, we're coming close to the end of the month. Turn off Netflix, turn on HBO Max, and watch these 6 things. And then at the end of that month, all right, turn off HBO Max. Like, it basically looks at your list of things you want to watch and does it for you.
Is that not what the premium Just Watch does? Is that not what I do now?
It doesn't tell you that. You have to
not what I do now.
I listened to your thing, Dunaway. I remember your stress farts, stress shit. What was it? Stress shit.
Stress poops. The
stress poops. Thank you.
Stress farts.
No, it needs to be way more automatic for me. Give me an actual button on the page. Like, give me the email that says, all right, we're coming close to the end of the month.
I'm buying IamLazy.com, and let's just see if I can.
All right.
Oh, I love it. Yes.
Do it.
We get somebody in our community is smart enough to know how to code this. We just, we're the idea people, the interface people. We can all make it happen.
For FilmSack specifically, I've got 2 top tiers of streamers, and I'm like trying to keep it as simple as possible. So in the top tier, it's Netflix, Max, and Amazon Prime, and we're really trying to only sack films that are streaming on those because like that makes sense.
Yeah.
The second tier is Disney and Apple.
Yeah.
And once a year or twice a year, we'll pick a movie on one of those. But everything after that, I'm just like, I'm getting rid of all this stuff.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try to trim.
I need to be better at that too.
I need to actually just look at everything I sub to and just start chucking the shit.
I hate to say it. I mean, they were a sponsor of mine for a while, and I still use them even though they're not a sponsor and I don't get free access to the product anymore. But Rocket Money is really good for that. And it even, it tells you what you're subscribed to, and it even gives you buttons to unsubscribe, or it'll negotiate lower prices on the things that can be negotiated.
How do they know
No's
that
never
you're
given us a single dollar?
Rocket
Netflix.
Money. Oh, Netflix. They don't give a shit. But how does Rocket Money know that you're signed up for other things? You have to tell it that?
You do have to log in. Like, you do have to give it credit card information.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious.
But it's Quicken, I don't know how.
Sure.
They haven't been involved in a data breach in at least 6 months. So I feel like
I prefer a company that's been recently breached because they are typically the ones that are on high alert.
That's true. Yeah, it's like going to the fast food place right after they reopen after a health scare.
Yeah,
like
we did all the shit right this time around.
That's the most clean that oil is ever going to be in the
You'll never have a better taco at Taco Bell than the day after.
Right, exactly. Yes.
I'm actually a big believer in that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see. But next week we're doing Electra, and it's on Max. Okay.
Yeah.
So go check it out. In the meantime, we are also on FilmSack at filmsack.com, and you can also find us again at our Patreon, patreon.com/filmsack. And if you'd leave us a review wherever you get your shows, be that Apple Podcasts or freaking over there or whatever Google's doing now, I guess it's on YouTube, it's a YouTube podcast, wherever it is, Spotify, leave us a positive review because it helps us in very meaningful ways. That's going to do it for us. For me, for Brian, and for Randy.
That was a guy.
We'll see you next time.
Get more at frogpants.com.
Yeah.